Hi, I'm Nancy Kreith with the University of Illinois Extension, and I'd like to demonstrate how to save seeds from the vegetable garden. So some seeds you might want to save are the easier ones. You could start with tomatoes, peppers, beans and peas, and even lettuce are all fairly easy to save. One thing to keep in mind is to not save hybrid seeds because they are a cross of two parents and you never know what you're going to get if you save the seed. Also, some people like to isolate plants in the garden so you could resist the insect temptation to cross-pollinate. And so if you're growing a lot of heirloom tomatoes, for example, they do self-pollinate, but there's a chance insects could cross-pollinate them and you might not know what you're getting with the seed that results. So I have some materials here to talk about today. We're going to look at an heirloom variety of tomatoes. That's green zebra. Tomatoes you could do a couple of ways. One way I want to show you is putting the, so you let the tomato fruit ripen on the plant. You will harvest it, and before cooking or anything like that, you go ahead and cut it open and squeeze out the seed with some of that gel that surrounds the seed and put it into a jar of water. I like to label these with the date, and you'll keep it in here about 3 to 5 days, stirring it each day. And then what happens is the viable seeds sink to the bottom and separate from the gel. And what you could do is dump that off and rinse it and then put them on a paper plate to dry. Some people will even skip that step of the jar and just simply try to separate the gel from the tomato seed in a paper towel and then lay them on some sort of paper to dry out. Always remember to label these. So that's what we would do also with a pepper plant. So again, a nice heirloom variety of California Wonder, and it's not a hybrid, so it'll remain true to type next year. So you almost let these over ripen on the plant and become a little bit wrinkly, and then what you could do is harvest it and just start separating the seed out. And I like to lay this on a labeled paper plate, and you could get all of these seeds out and allow them to dry, and they'll become hard and crispy, change a little bit of color, kind of get a brownish hue, and that's when you know they're dry. And then next up I'll show you a bean. So this is a purple hyacinth bean, and these you allow to over ripen on the plant. So any type of bean or pea, you would let these pods dry out and over ripen. And so they turn brown, crispy. Usually that's a month after, at least a month after you would normally harvest them to pick and eat. So you would remove the pod, and you could see that these beans are dried out, change the darker color. You would remove that. Some people store them in the pod. That's okay. I like to remove them, and I have an envelope here ready, labeled with the name and the date. And what I'll do is simply put them in there and then store them in a cool, dry place. And one other thing I'd like to show you is some edamame or edible soybean. So this is another type of bean. And this pod, I just want to demonstrate, it's not quite ready yet. So it's not fully dry. It's even hard to break open. And when I get the seed out, it's still fleshy and it's not brown or dried. So these I would not recommend saving. I would allow these to ripen a little bit more on the plant and then harvest and save them. And so here you have it. This would be the end result to label, and then you could store these neatly in a container or box, certainly with no temperature fluctuation, so avoid garages. People like to put them into the refrigerator with the silica packet to help them last a little bit longer. And that's one way to help save money by collecting seed and storing it, and also carry on that tradition of heirloom varieties. So thank you and happy gardening. Have a wonderful day.